Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for the second last episode for this season, otherwise entitled The Girl with the Red Lightning. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that trailer.
You want me to open the doors to every meta in this city?
Wipe them off the face of the planet. These people need protection.
This is our last chance.
We have to find Cicada, or we lose everyone.
The Flash, only this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So last episode was a pretty, just okay episode, but the main thing that was really, what really happened is that Nora basically had created this, or not created, but was, did this whole plan to get this device from McCulloch Industries or whatever it was called, which essentially is a device that will be able to break down and destroy Cicada's dagger. This was obviously advice and a plan from Earbud Thorne in the future. Obviously, we don't know the intentions of what Earbud's doing as to why he would want this, the dagger destroyed. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next episode or two in regards to why he wants to do that, because I don't think he's doing it for the most, sincere of reasons towards Team Flash. I think it's actually a selfish reason as to why he wants it destroyed, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in these last two episodes. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, let's quickly go over the synopsis, as it does give us a better idea as to what's happening in this episode. But of course, throughout the video, let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on this episode. What are you looking forward to the most? Do you have any different theories and stuff like that that are involved with this episode? Let me know all of them in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're looking forward to the episode and you just enjoy my video, be sure to drop a like on it to show support and your hype for these last two episodes of The Flash Season 5. Team Flash is on high alert after Cicada 2 threatens to unleash a dangerous virus that would put all metahumans at risk. But anyway, the trailer starts off with us in Central City Police Department, or as the cool kids call it, CCPD. And we do see Cecile in the foreground. You also see Joe quickly as well, shortly after this. And we hear what I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm 99.76% sure, is Captain Singh questioning the whole proposition of opening the doors to the police department to every metahuman in Central City, I guess that wants to come here, in order to protect them from what Cicada 2, or Cicada, is planning on doing to them. Now, you can see a few people filling out forms on clipboards in the opening shot. They're like sitting down, and these will most likely be some early and I guess punctual metahumans of Central City. But then we have the absolute avalanche and stampede of metahumans out of the elevators. Now, it will be interesting to see how the metahumans are warned or alerted of this proposed attack from Cicada 2. Like, is she, as in Grace, going to be the one that tells them they are all going to die on like a national news broadcast or something? Unless there's a plan to get them all in one area, then if that's the case, extremely smart. So you would think it is most likely Barry that does it if it isn't, Cicada Grace trying to get them all in one place so the devices, it's going to kill them quicker, I guess, if they're all really close to each other. So if it's not Grace, then you have to think it's Barry. Or maybe it could be Iris with her blog that could warn everyone. The use of Iris's blog last season was effective when getting help with the whole DeVoe situation. So this would be another, time to use it and make it useful. But you never know, Cicada Grace might be just sort of like reverse psychology with, or doing reverse psychology with Team Flash, just, tricking them to like, oh yeah, save the metahumans, but then just bring them into one point. As I said before, if they're all in one place, it's easy to kill them all in one quick go. Now, in regards to the metahumans that are pouring in, you would expect most of them to be good. However, you would expect a few bad eggs, or just some that are scared and might use their abilities or powers to try and secure their safety. We do see one guy here whose eyes light up green. No clue what his powers would be, I've got no idea, but he is being threatened by what looks like to be just some other random meta here trying to get safety. So we might end up with a bit of like an internal fight here with some of the metahumans seeking shelter, and it wouldn't surprise me if this is maybe the time in which we see Cicada 2 strike and maybe get the upper hand. I would like to see some, metahumans we are familiar with, maybe some past villains who aren't locked up anymore. That'd be pretty cool. But then again, they might be a bit hesitant on like willingly walking into a police station. They might think it's one big setup to fill Iron Heights up a bit more. Who knows? But I wouldn't mind seeing some cool new metahuman powers from some of these people seeking safety. If I had to make one request, I wouldn't mind seeing a meta that can make someone sneeze just by looking at them or something. I don't know, that's actually pretty lame. But let me know one meta power you'd want to see from this group of people in the comments. Now, as we saw at the end of last episode, right at the end I might add, we saw Cicada 2 with the cryo-atomizer, and she was tinkering with it to sort of prepare it for her plan, which of course involves adding in the prototypes of the metahuman cure made by Cisco, that if they were made perfect, would be able to, cure metahuman and possibly cure a curse for them and lead them onto a better life. But with the prototypes, or failed prototypes, it's basically the opposite and will most likely kill you. So when you attach that with a cryo-atomizer, oh boy, do we have an issue. Now, I guess you could point out that Arrow and Flash this season involve a deadly virus that was going to be dispersed on the city, but let's ignore that similarity so we can just enjoy the endings of these show seasons. But we also saw behind Grace Cicada at the end of last episode, her uncle Orlin, but yeah, he is dead. He got killed by Grace. So this is obviously just like a vision or a mental thing for Grace, where her uncle's advice and motivation from earlier on in her life and just before she traveled back is still, moving her along and moving her forward with this whole plan. But in regards to Grace and Orlin, we do get a little look at something that Team Flash will be trying to map out in this episode, and that is some more timeline messing about and timeline planning, if you want to call it. So at one point in the trailer, we do see Barry and Ralph standing in front of their trusty, I guess you could call it trusty whiteboard / clearboard thing. Is there like an actual proper name for this clear type of whiteboard that they use? Let me know. Is it just a science board? A lot of scientists use it. Anyway, let me know if you know the name. But anyway, on that weird board, we can see them drawing up some timeline stuff. So what we see is the timeline from last season in season 4, where Nora then came back and affected, the playing out of the Enlightenment event where she assisted with a satellite incident, which caused Orlin Dwyer to be hit by the Sharda satellite, as well as Grace being hit by it as well. And obviously Orlin was hit by his dagger, which then turned him into Cicada, which split us off into this new timeline where he is the Cicada rather than David Hirsch, which is the case on every other Earth as well, as we learned from Sherlock. But then we continue to the point where Grace comes back from the future and kills her uncle when he was still alive in her future, which then again splits us off into a new timeline from what was once known, which is the timeline that we are in now. Now, what Barry says over this is our last chance. So it seems they may figure out dates in this timeline, or this timeline's future, that pinpoint that day, or maybe a few days from then being the point in which all the metahumans in Central City are exposed to this virus that Cicada is planning to let out. If that is the case, and maybe Cicada was, successful in doing this, in what the timeline is saying at least, that means we will be splitting off again into another timeline. So a lot of timeline hopping and branching off going on in this season. It's pretty crazy. Now, we do actually get to see Cicada break away into the Central City Police Department towards the end of the trailer in a very villainous manner. And you can see, jumping through the skylight, if you want to call it. And you can see in her left hand that she is actually holding the finished device that she is going to use to disperse the virus. Now, you can see that it is like some sort of claw with the cryo-atomizer like sitting in the middle of it. I'm guessing the claw is maybe like it disperses the prototype into it, or maybe it's just it contains it. Or maybe so she can hold it and basically shove it in people's faces, and I don't know why there's a claw there. I'm hoping we figure that out in this episode. And then this is followed by us not only just seeing Ralph being, smashed down onto a table, WWE style, but also Killer Frost being smashed against a wall while holding her ice dagger, thingy-majiggies by Cicada, so she's the one smashing her into the wall. I am still wondering if Killer Frost is actually going to play that big of a role in the takedown of Cicada. I would hope so, because, she should. She's, the perfect kryptonite, I guess you could say, for Cicada. But I just have this feeling the show won't do that. I guess I just don't have I just, for some reason, feel they won't do that. They could, but I just have this hesitant feeling that they won't, even though it's the obvious option. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there, I guess. But towards the end of the trailer, we do actually get to see Barry holding his daughter Nora with a very, very concerned look on his face. And he isn't in the CCPD. This is in Star Labs. So you can see that Nora actually has a bloody nose and is just knocked out or concussed by the looks of it. So what the hell is going on here? Well, this could possibly be the beginning of Nora feeling the effects of the timeline, and maybe, this is a big maybe, but maybe starting to fade away. So just her energy is going away, and then eventually maybe she just might fade away completely. So she's starting to feel weak, and maybe her powers are not working correctly. I don't know what would be affecting Nora in Star Labs specifically that wouldn't be affecting Barry. So this wouldn't be like, oh, the virus has got out and she's feeling the effects of it, because, well, Barry would as well. The other possibility is that Nora is struggling after her experience with the negative speed force. That could be something that the show is highlighting here, but it is hard to tell just from these couple of screenshots from the trailer. But I think it's one of those two because I don't know what else it would be. But if you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this, you know, as I was saying before, the end of last episode or towards the end of it, they have that device that is going to destroy Cicada's dagger. But is everyone forgetting, like, the opening episode to, you know, Grace Cicada being here when she stormed Star Labs and stuff? Like, she completely owned everyone. Like, even if that dagger is destroyed, Cicada 2 or the Cicada Grace is still extremely overpowered. Like, she has those, like, dampening blasts that she can just, you know, pin people against walls and they get knocked out. Like, it completely drains them of power and just dampens their metahum abilities. And then she also had those blade, you know, those dual blade dagger things that she was blocking all the attacks from. Like, does anyone remember that scene when she first appeared? Like, she owned everyone. Like, she wouldn't have magically lost that ability to just stomp on everyone. So I don't think her losing the dagger is that big of a deal. Like, obviously she can't kill people as easily, but she's still goddamn lethal. Like, that isn't a complete solution to stopping this character. So just for a consistent basis, I'm going to be disappointed if just them destroying the dagger is them winning, because we saw her without the dagger completely own Team Flash when they were all attacking her at once. So hopefully they've thought that through, because I think that's an obvious error if they go through with it. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on, you know, my video, and also what are your thoughts on this episode coming up. What's the favorite part from the trailer you're looking forward to most in the episode? And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.